Good morning, children. This is session 2 of C reading from first unit titled I Will Do It. Shall we revise the lesson once? Yesterday's session? Yes. So, this lesson is about the biography of Nagavara Ramarao Narayanamurthy, who was the founder of the leading IT company in the world, Infosys. This lesson is taken from the book written by his wife Sudha Murthy, and the name of the book was How I Taught My Grandmother to Read and Other Stories. Murthy was born on 20th August 1946 and he started Infosys on 12th July 1981. So this lesson is about his childhood and how he was able to achieve his goal. Coming to the lesson, he was short, sharp, but the brightest boy in his class. He used to solve physics and math problems very easily. Even his seniors used to ask doubts. Whenever, if any person asks a question from physics or maths, we can identify some kind of sparkness in his eyes that shows how much he loves maths and science. Even he could solve the theories of maths and physics with a speed that is faster than the light. That shows how much brilliant he was, how much intelligent he was. Coming to his family details, he was from a poor but educated family. His father was a headmaster of school and an avid reader of English literature. Avid means children, enthusiastic. So his father would like to read literature. That means different types of books, stories, plays, poems and articles. So he likes literature very much. At that time, Murthy, like other children, he also wanted to join IIT. IIT means Indian Institute of Technologies. That was his dream. For that, he had worked a lot. Always he used to dream about that. So he applied for the entrance test. There was an entrance test for IIT. So he applied for the test. But at that time, there were no coaching centers or books, special books like that. So how they used to prepare for the exam? Murthy, along with his friends, they used to sit near a stone mandap which is near to the Chamundi hills in the sleepy town of Mysore. Sleepy means silent. So that's how they used to prepare, and Murthy was guide for others. He used to clarify the doubts of others. Finally, the D-Day came. D-Day means important day. What was the important day? The day of examination, entrance, like the date of entrance exam. Where was the test? Actually, Murthy was living in Mysore, but the test was in Bangalore. So he went to his relative's house and stayed there. He wrote the exam. He had written very well, but if anyone asks, he used to say, okay. Actually, he had done it very excellently, but just he used to say, okay. And when it comes to food, it's opposite. So as I told you, he was living or staying at his relative's house. The food was not that much good, but what he used to say, when he says the food is okay, actually the food was bad. Actually the food was bad. Then he said okay. If the food was okay, he used to say good. If the food was good, he used to say excellent. If the food was bad, he used to say okay. If the food was good, he used to say excellent. If it was okay, he used to say good. Because his principle was never to hurt others. He never wanted to hurt others. That's why he used to say like that. And now one more day came. What was that? The results. So he was very excited. He was thrilled. And he came to know that he passed with a high rank. So there were no boundaries for his happiness because he was going to fulfill his dream. Definitely he will get admission in IIT. That's why he was very happy. He went to his father and said, Anna, I have passed with high rank. At the time his father was reading newspaper. He said, well done my boy. Then Murthy said, I want to join IIT. Then his father lifted up his head, stopped reading the newspaper and said, you're a brilliant boy and you know about our financial condition. I have 5 more daughters to be married off and 3 sons to be educated. So I can't afford expenses at IIT. I'm sorry for that. He said all those things with a heavy voice. Actually, he didn't want to say like that, but there was no option at all. He has to say like that. So his father felt very sad, but as he also couldn't do anything, he said that, I'm sorry, I can't afford the expenses. But do one thing, please stay at Mysore itself and you can read as much as you want. So that's what we have discussed in yesterday's session. So now let us see. All of you open your textbooks and open the page number 23. Let us continue the lesson. Let me read the paragraph. You also read along with me. Indeed, it was a difficult situation for any father to say no to his bright son. But circumstances were like that. It was common then for the man to be the single earning member with a large family dependent on him. Obviously, it was a difficult situation for anyone to say no like that. So, his son, actually he is very bright and he wanted to join IIT, even he has passed with a high rank, but still he has to say no. It was very difficult situation for his father also, but what he can do, he is having large family, and of course at that time it was very common that there would be like only one earning person and the total family used to be dependent upon him. Okay, so only one single earning person, there used to be only one single earning person and the entire family used to depend upon them at that time. So he had explained his condition. Next, his father was sad that he had to tell the bitter truth to his son, but it could not be helped. The boy had to understand reality. So his father was sad, but he had to tell the bitter truth. What is the bitter truth, children? Bitter means here we can say unpleasant, not good. What was the bitter truth? That he couldn't afford the expenses at IIT. And the boy had to understand the reality. Reality means that was their condition, that was their position. So the boy means who? Murthy. Murthy had to understand the reality. The teenager was disappointed. Teenager means here Murthy. Okay, and he was very disappointed. Why he was disappointed? Obviously his father said no, and now he can't go and join IIT. That's why he was very disappointed. It seemed his dreams had burned to ashes. Burned to ashes. Burned to ashes means completely destroyed. Burned to ashes means completely destroyed. He was near to fulfilling his fondest hope, yet so far his heart sank in sorrow. So he was almost very close, very near to his dream. He got high rank, so definitely he can get admission in IIT. But what happened? Because of his financial condition, he was not able to go and join IIT. That's why his heart sank in sorrow. He was deeply depressed. He felt very bad. Okay, next. He didn't reply. He never shared his unhappiness or helplessness with anybody. He was an introvert by nature. His heart was bleeding, but he didn't get any angry with anybody. So he didn't reply. Observe children, did. Yesterday also I told you, right? Whenever you get did, verb should be in V1 form. He did not reply. We should not say he did not reply. What we have to say? He did not reply. And actually he was an introvert by nature. Introvert means who doesn't share the feelings with others. Either happiness or sadness, whatever it may be, the feeling, they never used to share with others. They used to be like shy persons, very reserved. Okay, so like that, he didn't, and anyway, his heart was bleeding, but he didn't get angry with anybody. His heart was bleeding, but he didn't get angry with anybody. His heart was bleeding in the sense he was totally depressed. He became very helpless. He couldn't speak anything. He was like that only. But even though he didn't get angry with anybody. Again, let's see the next paragraph. The day came. This day is what? Let us see. His classmates were leaving for Madras. At present, Chennai. They were taking a train from Mysore to Madras. They have shared good years in school and college together. He went to the station to say goodbye and good luck to them for their future life. So the day came. The day of what? The day when all of his friends were leaving for Madras. Why are they leaving for Madras? Because they got admission at IIT and they wanted to join IIT. That's why they are leaving for Madras. Presently we are calling it as Chennai. So all of them were going in a train. By train, they are going by train. So all of them gathered at the station. Even Murthy also went to the station to say goodbye and good luck to them for their future life. So all of them, including Murthy, all of them, they have shared good years in school and college together. So all of those were his friends from his childhood onwards. They had very good time in school and college. That's why he went to station to say goodbye and good luck for their future life. At the station, his friends were already there. So when he had reached the station, already his friends were there. They were excited and talking loudly. The noise was like the chirping of birds. They were all excited and discussing their new hostels, new courses, etc. He was not part of it. So he stood there silently. One of them noticed and said, "You should have made it." So they were excited. Here they means who, children? His friends were excited. Were past tense. Observe, children. They were excited and talking loudly. How was that noise? The noise was likely the chirping of birds. Chirping means it's like short sounds made by birds generally, right? Short sounds, short and sweet sounds made by birds. So how was the sound? It was like chirping of birds. And they were discussing about something. All of his friends were discussing about something. What about? They were discussing about their hostels, colleges and all those things. He was not part of it. He was not part of it. Here he means who? Murthy was not part of it. Why he was not part of it? As he was not going to Madras and as he was not joining IIT, he was not part of it. That's why he stood there silently, because there was nothing to talk. So he stood there silently. By observing that, one of his friends asked him that, "You should have made it. You should have made it." What is the meaning of this sentence, children? So this will be given in examination. You should have made it. What is the meaning of that? That means his friend was saying that anyhow, somehow, you would have convinced your father, and somehow you also come with us, and you would have come with us and join IIT. For that also he didn't reply. He only wished all of them. Wished all of them means just he said good luck to them. They waved at him as the train slowly left the platform. So just waving means by saying goodbye like that. So he stood there silently. He didn't answer to any questions, and he was not part of that. Just he said them goodbye, good luck, and just he waved the hands. Okay, next. He stood there even after he could no longer see the train or the waving hands. It was the June of 1962 in Mysore city. Monsoon had set in and it was getting dark. It had started to drizzle. Yet he stood there motionless. So he was there in the station only. Even though he was not able to see the train or waving hands of his friends, still he stood there. And it was like monsoon season, children. It was June of 1962 and it was getting dark. It had started to drizzle also. Drizzle means small raindrops. It was started just, it's drizzling. Okay, and yet he stood there motionless. Motionless means without any movements. He stood like a stone. Even though he is not able to see the train or waving hands of his friends, it was becoming dark and it was drizzling also, but still he stood there like that only. So why, children? Why he stood there like that? Because he was really very much disappointed. All of his dreams, like they burn into ashes. He can't do anything. All of his friends were going and joining IIT, but he was not having any option. That's why he was very upset and he stood there for some time like that only at the station. Okay, next he said to himself without anger or jealousy, all students from the IIT study well and do big things in life. But it's not the institution. Ultimately, it is you and you alone who can change your life by hard work. So he started thinking. Okay, and he was talking to himself itself without any anger or jealousy. What he was saying, all students from IITs study well and do big things in life. Yes, it's true. Whoever studies at IIT, definitely they can study well and they can do big things in their life. That means they can achieve their goals and they can go to the highest positions. That's correct, that's true. But how he was convincing himself, just look at that once. But it's not the institution. Ultimately, it's you and you alone who can change your life by hard work. Ultimately, children, ultimately means finally. So what he said to himself, it's not the institution. Ultimately, you and you who alone can change your life by hard work. For example, so you got admission at IIT, you have joined, but if you don't concentrate on your studies or if you don't do hard work, will you get good percentage or will you get knowledge? After the college, will you be able to reach the highest position? If you join at IIT also, obviously it depends upon you and your hard work. So what he had decided, of course, what will happen if I am not going to IIT? I will study and I'll do hard work and definitely I will try to reach my goal. Understood, children? That's what. See here we can observe two important qualities of him. One is compromising and uncompromising. He's having both of those qualities. Compromising and uncompromising. Really a very good person, children. See. So what was his goal? He wanted to join IIT. But as his father said no, he didn't say anything. He didn't argue also. That means what? It shows his compromising quality. He was compromised there. He understood his financial position, his family's condition. He thought about his brothers and sisters. So he was compromised. But where he didn't uncompromise, he don't want to uncompromise about his goal. Whatever may be the consequences or whatever may be the situation, he wanted to achieve his goal. In achieving his goal, he don't want to compromise. So in our life also we should know, children, where we have to compromise and where we have to uncompromise. That's very important. That really gives us the way. Okay. Let's see the next paragraph. Probably he was not aware that he was following the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita. Your best friend is yourself and your worst enemy is yourself. So that was the way how he was thinking. Philosophy also means it describes the way how to behave. Okay, some guidelines. Okay, so probably means possibly he was not aware of the fact that he was following Bhagavad Gita. So what he was following, what he was believing, your best friend is yourself and your worst enemy is yourself. This is absolutely true, children. Really, what a beautiful quotation. Look at that sentence once again. Your best friend is yourself. Your worst enemy is also yourself. So just talk to yourself. Your best friend is yourself, and even your worst enemy also yourself. Your best critic. Critic means who criticizes. That means obviously you know if you are doing anything, whether that is good or bad. Nobody knows better than you. So ask your heart, follow your heart, it will guide you. That's the meaning here. Okay, next. Later he worked very hard and focused on one thing, never bothering about his personal life or comforts. So children, so he joined at Mysore itself, University of Mysore, and he had finished his electrical engineering in the year 1966. Okay, so he had achieved the degree at National Institute of Engineering. Later even he joined IIT Kanpur and he took his master's degree. So that's how. Okay, even in local college also he had finished his engineering and focused on one thing, what he never bothered about his personal life or comforts. Comforts means his financial conditions or all. He don't want to bother about that. Just left that and he studied and he had concentrated only studies. Okay. Next, he shared his wealth with others. He never used the help of any caste or community or political connections to go up in life. Always he shared his wealth with others, and almost do you know he had not taken the help of his caste, community or political connections to go up in life. So to get that highest position he never used or he never take any help from others. Understood, children? Next, a son of school teacher showed other Indians it was possible to earn wealth legally and ethically. He built a team of people who were equally good. So a son of school teacher. So who was he? Just he was the son of a normal school teacher. And what he had proved? He had proven that it's possible to earn wealth legally and ethically. Legally means following rules, regulations, law. Okay, ethically means having some moral values. See children, earning money is very very easy. When it becomes easy, if you follow any fraudulent techniques, if you cheat people, okay, if you are not legal, then obviously you can earn money, but that is not correct, right? Always we have to earn money legally and ethically, and we have proved that. Okay, next, he became a pioneer of India's software industry and started the information technology wave. Today he has become an icon of simplicity, uncompromising quality and fairness, apart from being a philanthropist. He really believes in the motto, powered by intellect and driven by values. He is none other than Nagavara Ramarao Narayanamurthy, the founder of Infosys, a leading IT company in the world. So what he believes, children? And he became the pioneer. Pioneer means the person who starts anything for the first time. The person who starts anything for the first time. So he became the pioneer of India's software industry. So India doesn't know about software industry till then. After the existence of Infosys only, the era of software industries has been started in our country. IT field, development of IT field was possible just because of him. Okay, so what are the qualities of this Murthy? He is like an icon of simplicity. Really, yesterday itself I told you children, right? He was a man of simplicity, very simple person. Even his wife also, really, both are wonderful human beings. Okay, and uncompromising quality. So we have seen that, right? Uncompromising. What was that? He wanted to reach the highest position at any circumstances. Okay, so he became like that. That shows his uncompromising quality and fairness. Fairness means honesty. Okay, he was always honest. Okay, he never cheated anyone. Of course, he was a philanthropist. Philanthropist means philanthropist means one who devotes his service or wealth for the sake of mankind. That means he always used to share his wealth with others. He always used to help people. Even at present, this Corona pandemic also, Infosys has done a lot for the sake of people. Okay, like that he was always used to help people who are in need. Okay, and he believes in one motto. Motto means principle. Motto means what? Principle. What is that? Powered by intellect and driven by values. What he believes? He believes that a person should have a good logical thinking and his actions should follow the moral values. A person should have good logical thinking and he should follow the moral values. His actions should reflect the moral values. Murthy believes that type of persons are successful. So this is the caption, children. Powered by intellect and driven by values. So he always he made sure that his employees should have the good logical thinking, and of course by quality wise, by the values, they should be the good persons. So that's how he he had achieved the good results. Okay, he got the good results and the fame. So that was about Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy. Really, we can learn so many positive qualities from this story. I hope you understood this. So today's homework is write the summary of this lesson in your classwork. Okay, tomorrow we'll see the workbook part. Thank you.